The integration between SparkHire's video interviewing platform and Zapier's automation tool allows hiring teams to use any of their favorite apps to track interview progress or set up interviews based on candidate activity using forms, emails, and more. With this integration, mutual customers can create automated zaps between SparkHire and a number of Zapier's applications, reducing repetitive work and boosting productivity. Once the SparkHire integration has been activated in your Zapier settings, you will begin using Zapier to set up triggers in one application to prompt action in another. To activate the integration, log into your SparkHire account and navigate to the integrations page for Zapier in your settings. Click Activate Integration and then copy your generated user API key. Next, log into your Zapier account. Once you've logged in, navigate to My Apps, click Add Connection, and search for SparkHire. When the search results return the SparkHire app, click it and then enter your SparkHire API key. Click Yes, Continue, and your SparkHire account will be connected to Zapier. You can now begin integrating SparkHire with other applications on Zapier. Let's look at an example. Let's say you want to create an interview for a candidate after entering the candidate's information into a Google Sheet. First, you'll click Make a Zap. A zap is a connection between two apps that includes a trigger and an action. You'll start by naming your zap. We'll name this zap Create SparkHire One-Way Interviews for New Google Sheet Rows. A trigger is the event that starts a zap. To create your trigger, you'll first select Google Sheets as the app you wish to connect, and then you'll choose your trigger event. For this example, we'll choose New or Updated Spreadsheet Row as your trigger event. Once you choose your trigger and trigger action, click Continue and you'll be prompted to choose your Google Sheets account. Once your account is connected, you'll select the spreadsheet and the worksheet that you'll be adding candidate information to start the trigger. You'll then select the trigger column. Click Continue and you'll be prompted to test the trigger. You'll then select your action. An action is the event that a zap performs. For this example, you'll select SparkHire as your app and Create One-Way Interview as your action event. You will then choose the SparkHire account you wish to use for this zap. To set up the action, you'll first select the job that the one-way interview will be created for. Next, select the question set that will be used for the interview. You'll then choose how you'll populate the name of your candidate. Typically, you'll use an attribute from the app that's triggering this action to populate the candidate name field. Next, you'll choose how you'll populate the email of your candidate. Typically, you'll use an attribute from the app that's triggering this action to populate the candidate email field. Finally, you'll choose a due date for the candidate to complete the one-way interview. You'll then be prompted to test the action. If the test is successful, you'll be prompted to turn on the zap. Now let's look at another example. Let's say you want to automate adding a row to a Google Sheet each time you receive a completed interview. Again, you will click Make a Zap and start by naming it. We'll name this zap Add New Completed Interviews on SparkHire as Google Sheet Rows. Next, you'll select your trigger, and this time you'll choose SparkHire as the app. You'll then be given two trigger event options, Interview Created and Interview Completed. Choosing Interview Created will trigger something to happen in another app when an interview is created on SparkHire. Choosing Interview Completed will trigger something to happen in another app when an interview is completed on SparkHire. Click Continue and you'll be prompted to select the SparkHire account you would like to use for this zap. Next, you'll set up the trigger. First, select the jobs for this trigger, and keep in mind that you will have the option to select multiple jobs. Next, you'll decide if you want to create a share link. This option will appear when you set up an interview completed trigger. If you select Yes, a basic share link will be created for every completed interview that matches the criteria under the zap you're creating. This is helpful if you want to use the basic share link as an attribute to post to another app using the zap. You'll then be prompted to test the trigger to make sure the right account is connected and the trigger is set up correctly. For your action, you will select Google Sheets as the app and create spreadsheet rows as the action event. And again, you'll choose the Google Sheets account you would like to use for this app. Next, you'll set up the action. The first step is to select the drive where your Google spreadsheet resides. Next, you'll choose the spreadsheet and worksheet that will be updated when a candidate completes an interview. All of the existing rows in the selected worksheet will then appear below, and you'll be prompted to choose how you'll populate each row. You'll then be prompted to test the action. If the test is successful, you'll be prompted to turn on the Zap. From the Zaps tab in your Zapier account, you can easily view all of your Zaps, turn them on and off, view details about them, make edits or share Zaps, and more. Using the integration between Spark Hire and Zapier, you can connect thousands of apps to make your own automations. You can even explore ideas for Zaps between products on your Zapier dashboard. Let's take a look at a few examples of how other customers are using Spark Hire with Zapier. Some mutual customers post Slack messages for new completed interviews on Spark Hire. Others get SMS alerts for new completed interviews on Spark Hire. Some send emails from Gmail for new completed interviews on Spark Hire. And some generate Spark Hire one-way interviews from new Wufoo form entries. For additional information on the integration, head to sparkhire.com and request a demo. If you're an existing customer, reach out to your Spark Hire Customer Success Manager today.